Okay, so this is nothing but the same. I will call it as a bare metal. This is bare metal is nothing but a hardware. Okay, just a official name I'm giving, bare metal or a hardware. Okay, this remains the same, this remains the same, but here one layer is increased here. Okay, one layer which is a hypervisor. Okay, hypervisor. Now what is hypervisor? Okay, hypervisor is nothing but, let me write here, let me write here, hypervisor is nothing but virtualization software. Okay, hypervisor is nothing but a virtualization software. That means on top of your hardware, this is the hardware which you are going to bring. Okay, now this hardware is with the size of, very high size. Okay, suppose 100 of TB, it's resources, I'm talking about the resources. Okay, 100 TB disk, suppose 1000 core CPU, 10,000 GB of RAM. This is the complete hardware, but I am not going to create a single, only one, I'm not going to install only one operating system on top of that. No, what I will do, instead of that, I will install one software on top of it. That is called as a hypervisor, and these names can be changed. Okay, somebody will call it as a hypervisor, someone will call it as a host. Okay, or someone will call it as a ESXi. Okay, now why ESXi? Now there is one company, VMware. Okay, they have developed their product. Okay, and they name it as a, they have developed their hypervisor, and they named it as a ESX previously, and then they have renamed it to the ESXi with the some upgraded versions. Okay, so ESXi is basically from the VMware, that's why we are calling it as a ESXi. Okay, so VMware is the company, same we are having Red Hat came up with their own operating system, so that's why we are calling it as a Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, so same, VMware is a company who developed their hypervisor, is which is nothing but a virtualization software which you are going to install on top of your hardware. Okay, why now? Why I want to install this? Because I directly don't want to utilize all these resources. All this means, suppose I'm just giving 10,000. Okay, 10,000 GB RAM. Okay, and suppose 100 TB disk. Okay, and I'm just giving 1,000 CPUs. Okay, this, but if you go in the conventional way, and this is the hardware you're having, on top of that, how you're going to do Linux operating system, only one server will be having all these things, but I don't want that. I want, you know small servers like I have given here. Okay, so on top of that, you will be having virtual machines are nothing but the virtual machines are nothing but the virtual servers. Okay, this is VM1 and this is VM2. Okay, and on top of each virtual machine, you will be having an operating system. Okay, and on top of the operating system, you will be having an application. Fine, you will be having application on top of that. Okay, application. Okay, so here you will be having, so because of this hypervisor, which is a software. Okay, I will call it as a hypervisor or host or ESXi. Because of this software, what happened, I don't need to create one server. Okay, from this whole resources, I will just use it widely. Okay, wisely. Like I can create this VM with, whatever requirements I want. Okay, this is the pool of resources now for me. Pool, from this pool, I will take, suppose, this server can have two CPUs. Okay, okay, this can have two CPU or 2 GB RAM and 20 GB disk. Okay, this can have 20, and this can have, this can have four CPUs and 10 GB disk and whatever you want. Okay, whatever resources you want, you can give, and after this also you can create n number of virtual servers. Okay, until and unless these resources you are having consumed totally, you can create as many as VMs you want. Okay, so that is the benefit of this hypervisor, and due to this we can achieve this virtualization, and this is called as a virtualization. Okay, means now you are virtualizing the things, means you are not, creating only one server on top of your hardware which is utilizing this many resources. Okay, These are that is one of its drawback. And one more thing is, like suppose something happens to your hardware, now the real person has to go there, engineer has to go in the data center, they have to look for it, whatever happens to that disk they need to replace it, or something happens to your network or whatever it is, okay, they need to go there. But here, due to the virtualization, everything is virtual, everything is nothing but disks are also attached virtually, okay, networks are also attached virtually. Just one VMware is a company, okay, they come up with the ESXi. Now ESXi will give you one, centralized platform to manage this, which is called as a EV center. Okay, now let me write V center. These are the terminologies which will be very helpful for you. Okay, and don't worry, we will repeat everything. So V center is nothing but the centralized way to manage. Now why centralized, why I need to, so this VMware company, how they are doing it with the help of one software, which VMware, again VMware is the company which developed that software, which is called as a vSphere client. Okay, vSphere client. So you will be having one, UI. Okay, and separate VMware team will be doing it. So you don't need to see this. Now let me, come to the scope. Okay, what is our scope? We are as a Linux admins, where we should stick. Okay, we should stick to our role only. Okay, so suppose this is the hardware layer. Okay, this will be taken care by the data center support team. This is the hypervisor layer. This needs to be taken care by the VMware team, okay, or a cloud team. Okay, VMware teams. Okay, separate team is there which will be managing this ESXi. ESXi is nothing but the hypervisor or host, which is a virtualization software, means one of the software which is installed on top of your hardware. Then you need to only focus on this area. Okay, this operating system. Your work is to handle the operating system, means not to let down the server. Okay, operating system, but you should be aware what is, what is behind that. Okay, what is there. Okay, upper layers, okay, and download layers. Okay, so on top of that the application is there, and this is managed by the application teams. Okay, they will be managing their applications. Okay, they will be having the source code, then they will be creating the artifact and whatever it is there. Okay, they will be doing it. Okay, so you just need to worry about your operating system as a OS team or a Linux team. Okay, you will be working here, but you should be aware of these things. Why? Because some issue is coming, then you should know whom to reach out. Okay, so that is the reason. So vCenter is nothing but a centralized way to manage the ESXi, because now this software I have installed. Okay, but what will happen? This one software goes down. This is the only one software. This one ESXi I will call it. Okay, this one ESXi goes down. Now what will happen? Suppose I have created 50 virtual machines on top of that. Okay, suppose now I'm taking ESXi, this VM1 and VM2 is created on this one. All this goes down. Okay, then that time you will require high availability. High availability means, suppose my this one ESXi, okay, one hypervisor goes down, and in organization they will be using ESXi only. So that's why I'm, continuously naming it as a ESXi. So suppose one ESXi is going down, other ESXi should take it up. That is called as a ESXi cluster. Okay, you don't need to worry about, you are not managing it, I'm just telling you. Okay, what is behind that. Okay, simple. So again, one more ESXi will be there. Okay, not one more, you can have as many as, but I will be just, telling you one more. Okay, ESXi2. So n number of ESXis will be there. Suppose my one ESXi is going down, and on top of that I have created VM1 VM2, they will automatically goes to the ESXi2. That is called as a migration. Okay, automatically this VM1 and VM2 will go to the ESXi2. If this ESXi2 goes down, automatically to go to the 3. How many? Suppose you have installed 10 ESXis. Okay, suppose you have installed 10 virtualization software, so it will be having 10 options. Okay, because of, but now how to manage this 10, 10 ESXis will be having different their UIs now. But you are not going to use 10 links, correct, 10 websites to manage it, correct. It is having the UI you cannot use. So there is a centralized way to manage those ESXi, so that is called as a vCenter. And the name of that software is a vSphere client. Just why it is important, because suppose somebody is not working as a Linux administrator now, okay. If many people are, you are working as a Linux administrator, but some of you are not working, so they are not aware what is the name of that software which is managing it. That is a vSphere client, okay, which is developed by the VMware company. Okay, VMware is a product based company. Okay, they have developed it. Okay, and they are because of that we can manage the all this ESXi. And on top of that we are having the virtual machine. That's why it is named as a virtual machine. Virtually it is created on this. Okay, you can easily delete it, but if you want to delete this server, it will not be deleted in the clicks means you're not having some option like you will go and just delete. You're directly deleting your mails, correct. You're not having those clicks option available here, because these are the physically installed servers. So this is very difficult physically. But here suppose you want to delete virtual machine, it will be within a minute. You will just have to click on delete, it will get deleted. Okay, that is the benefit of virtualization. This is called as a virtualization. Okay, virtualization, this is called as a virtualization. And why it is feasible? Because of the hypervisors it is feasible. Okay, anyone is having any doubt? I know it is very for some it can be easy, but for some of you it can be difficult. Let me know if you are having any doubt.
Hello.
Irish.
Uh, yeah. So you told about second scenario. So I think second scenario is working on microservices approach, right?
Microservices, we will come to that point, because here see, if you talk about this, okay, this is a type 1.
Okay.
Again we are having one type 2 that I will explain within 5 minutes. Okay, now.
Okay.
And after that we are having type 3. Many people are not aware of the type 3, that is a microservices architecture. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
but that will be very lengthy for you today, so that's why. So this is the type 1 hypervisor. And in most of the interviews they will ask you the difference between type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor. What is the difference between type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor? So you need to explain in this way. So I will explain you type 2 within 5 minutes now, but I just want to know if anyone is having any issues here. Okay, I will again explain if you want, but just where you are stuck, just let me know.
Virtual machine is basically hardware or software.
Virtual machine is a machine which is virtually created. It's kind of you can say it's a software thing, but it is a really real time server, but it is a virtually created. It is not physically. Here the difference is it is created on a hardware. On top of this hardware, suppose your laptop. Okay, laptop, just take example of your laptop. Laptop is a hardware. Okay, on top of that you are installing Windows.
Okay.
So you are using a physical server. Okay, because something happens to your laptop, then what will happen? Your Windows gone. Okay, but
Right.
here hardware, on top of that you will be having one software which is making use of that hardware. Suppose it is, as I am taking example of 10,000 of GB, 100 GB, this much big, and you don't want your operating system should have this many RAM and these things. Okay, so that's
Okay.
why you're just installing one software so that you can create small machines. Okay, out of it, small machines, simple. Okay, but those are virtually created so that within clicks you can delete it, you can create it. Okay, you can do anything with that. You can increase the size within clicks. But here if you want to do it in the same way, what will happen? Engineer has to go there. Okay, suppose your laptop. Okay, if you want to increase your laptop's RAM, what you need to go? You need to go to the engineer. They will add extra RAM in the slot. It will cause downtime, correct? Your laptop at that time it will be in a shutdown state, correct? But
Right.
here it is not like that. Your virtual machine 1 and virtual machine 2, suppose you are having 100 servers which is a virtual machines. Okay, and on one of it you want to do something, 99 will not face the downtime. Okay, 99 virtual machines which are hosting some applications or database whatever, they will not face any downtime. Downtime means they will not go in the shutdown state, or they can they still they will be running their application or whatever they are running. Okay, so that and whenever it is in the live state, at that time only you can increase the resources. That is the benefit of virtualization. Okay, in the live state you can increase the whatever resources. Suppose means resources, why I want to increase the resources, some suppose on some day your application is utilizing facing a high load. Now that time you are having only one option: increase the RAM. Okay, or increase the CPU. You are having that only option. But in the physical servers, somebody has to go there. Okay, they have to actual some drive like disk they have to insert, and then they have to increase the memory. Correct? Engineer has to go there. But here it is a 1 minute task. You just have to click, simple. It is increased. Why? Because it is taking from this pool. Okay, from this pool, just your work. That's why this software is very important, which is the ESXi. It is creating the pool. So from that pool you can easily create. Okay. Okay, Ranjit.
Yes, right. But VMware is basically cloud type.
No, this is a private cloud. Now let me explain what is private and what is public. Okay,
Okay.
VMware is a company, okay, which is giving you options of a private and a private cloud. Okay, there are basically three types: private cloud, one is a public cloud, one is a hybrid cloud. Okay, now what is this private? Private cloud is nothing but you are having your servers. Means suppose you are creating a server, this server or these servers. Okay, these are in your own premise. Okay, on premise means those are in your home only. Simple, in simple language. Okay, those are not in another's home. Those are in your home, means you're in your company premise. That is called as a private. Okay, means you are managing all the infrastructure. Simple, infrastructure is nothing but this hardware, you are managing it. Okay, but this can be afforded by only big companies, big MNCs. They can afford it. Okay, they can have their own infrastructure, and then they can install their own, everything they can there do by their own. Okay, that's why it is this VMware company is providing you a private cloud. Okay, software for this. Okay, so that is the private cloud, which is having the on premise, I will call it as a on premise data center. Okay, means data center is present. Data center is nothing but which is having your servers and your storage devices, everything which is present in your premise, means your company premise. Okay, but here in the public cloud, you will not be managing your infrastructure. You will be only managing the operating system. Means only this. You are not managing this part. Okay. In the public, you are managing only operating system things. Okay. So you don't need to worry about the infrastructure, where it is, on which data center it is created. Okay, where it is located. It can be located anywhere in any region, availability zone. Okay, it can be anywhere. Okay, but you don't need to worry about okay where it is created. But here something happens to your server, you only have to, in the private cloud you only have to check okay what is happened. But here you are not managing infra. So now example, what is the example for this? Okay, for public cloud example is AWS, Amazon Web Services. Now it is widely used. AWS, Azure is there, a GCP. These are the three top, and other are Ocean, many are there. Okay, and hybrid. Now what is hybrid? So suppose you are having 100 servers, 50 are application servers, 50 are database servers. Okay, simple. Application means your application is hosted, database means your data and everything really, your application will be having. So application servers are connected to the database servers. Okay, so your application servers are hosted on the cloud, and your database servers are hosted on the private cloud. Now why? Because database is kind of a secure thing. You don't want to, because you are not sure Amazon is storing your data where. Okay, there is options, but you don't want to rely on their infrastructure. Okay, because of the security things, you don't want to rely on their infra. What you will do, you will simply put your application servers in the public cloud, on top of the public cloud, and database servers in your premise, so that database servers still are in your zone only. Okay, so that is called as a hybrid. Some are in private and some are in public. Okay, servers, fine. Anyone is having any doubt here? Let me just hear if you're having any doubt. Okay.
But database
Mhm.
and application are connected to each other, no?
Yes, you can connect, still you can connect. Okay, because there is one service in the AWS. Okay, AWS connect. Okay, from that you can connect your this private cloud to this public cloud. Okay, and then you
Okay.
can use your servers. Many companies are migrating from private cloud to public. If you just go and if you see the JD, they will be asking you, okay, if you know the migration from private cloud to public cloud. So that is the AWS admin related task. Okay, that is not the thing which we will be looking here. Okay, we are, our main focus is only the operating system. This operating system should not go down. Okay, you are a OS team, you are a Linux admin, and your work is your server should be accessible, should be available 24/7. It should not go down. And if it is going down, your work is to troubleshoot why it is going down. Okay, and our main focus should be what is virtualization. Okay, why virtualization is important. And previously, now also people are using this conventional way, but not that much. Okay, less servers, but they are using it. Here you're having any doubt, hmm? Ranjit and others, in this virtualization.
Mhm.
Okay, and
Yes,
whatever we have seen here, this is called as a type 1 hypervisor. Type 1, just remember type 1. Someone is saying something. Guys, yes, let me know. Ashish, Prathamesh, Saurabh, Vijay.
No, I'm good. You can proceed.
Okay, okay, others just confirm.
Yeah, it is clear.
Sanjana, Saurabh,
No doubt. Yeah.
Ranjit,
Yeah, no doubts.
No,
Ashish. Okay,
no.
okay, good, good. Okay, okay. So see, this is the type 1. Now there is one more thing which is a type 2, and which is not used in the organizations. Okay, which is just for your practice purpose. Okay, practice means you are, suppose you want to practice, and you want some servers you want to install on top of your laptop. Okay, in suppose this is the laptop, on top of that you want to install one server. Okay, Linux operating system means operating system. Suppose there are two options. What you can do, you can remove your current operating system, means this Windows, and you can start with the Linux. But now I don't want to remove this Windows. What I want on top of that, I want Linux operating system. So that time you need to use this type 2 hypervisor. Okay, so that's why it is just for the practice purpose, but you should be aware what is the difference between type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor. Okay, type 2, let me just create the setup first. Okay, this is the host hardware, this is the host operating system, this is the host hypervisor. Okay, this is the VM, and VM will be having the operating system, it will be having the application. Okay, okay, so this is the host hardware. What is host hardware? Just take example of your laptop. As I again saying, this type 2 will be used for your practice purpose. So laptop is a good example here. Okay, laptop hardware. Okay, laptop hardware. On top of your laptop, you will be installing the operating system that is called as a host operating system, which is a Linux here. Okay, sorry, Windows. Just take a real-time example. Okay, host operating system. On top of that, you will be having software, same, which is a hypervisor. Okay, and this time this software is not ESXi. Okay, this is at the organization level, enterprise level, it's ESXi, but now here it is, the software name is Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, here I will write. Okay, Oracle VirtualBox. Two softwares are there. Okay, there will be many. Okay, VMware Workstation. Fine. There, these are the two softwares. Means this is laptop hardware, host operate hardware. I will name it as. On top of that, I'm having Windows 10. This Windows 10. On top of that, I'm having hypervisor. Okay, software which is a virtualization software. Why this I want? Because on top of this server, I mean on top of this my laptop, I want to use a server. I want to install a Linux, so that I will be having a virtual machine here. Okay, VM1. On top of that, I can have a Linux operating system, and then on top of that, I can have application. So this is the setup. So how I did it now? Okay, see, first stage is your hardware, this hardware, suppose. Okay, this is the operating system Windows currently, and on top of that I am having this Oracle VM VirtualBox. This is the software, this is the virtualization software, this is the hypervisor. Okay, this. Okay, on top of that, okay, we are at this stage now, this hypervisor, and on top of that I'm having VM1. Here I can have VM2. Okay, means suppose this is the server 1, this is the server 2, so that on top of my laptop I have installed these two servers. Okay, why? Because I want Linux for practice purpose, because I cannot afford a real-time server, you know, I cannot. So that's why what I can do, I can have this server, okay, created on top of my host operating system. Okay, so this is a VM1, this is VM2. If I start it, it will start. Okay, and on top of that VMs, I am having operating system. So it is not like you can have only RHL, you can have any other. So every virtual machine will be having different operating system. So you can have operating system like here RHL. I mean, somebody will install Red Hat Linux, someone will install Ubuntu or whatever it is. Okay, and on top of that they can have the application. So simple. So this type 2 hypervisor is basically just for the practice purpose. So it is not a real time. It is not used. Okay, now, what is the difference between type 1 and type 2? Type 1 is very faster, okay, as compared to the type 2. Now, why? Because type 2 will be having a dependency on your host operating system. Means what? Suppose I am having 10 virtual machines. So suppose I am here in the virtual box, I am having 10 servers, okay, but something happens to my laptop. Okay, laptops means main operating system, this Windows operating system, something happens to this, all those 10 VMs will go down. Simple. And all those 10 VMs are dependent on this only one operating system, because those are created on top of this single operating system. So those are dependent on this. So this is slow as compared to this, but here it is not the case. Here we are having directly ESXi. That's why it is used at the enterprise level. And ESXi, it is basically from the VMware, so that's why it is used. Okay, so on top of that we are having the virtual machines, and then you can, you know, simply you can use any operating system. You can have a Windows operating system, one server with the Linux operating system, whatever you want. Okay, on top of that you are having the application. So this is just a you know, type 2 hypervisor. So in the interview they will ask you what is the difference between type 1 and type 2 hypervisor. Then you have to answer in this way: host operating system. Okay, the dependency on host OS is not there in the type 1, and that's why it is a, you know, type 1 is a faster. Okay, and examples. Now examples, mostly people will ask you examples of a type 1 hypervisor. So examples of type 1 hypervisor are ESXi, one example. Second, what is another? Hyper-V. I'm not sure if people have heard about this, but this is also one of the example. Okay, ESXi, Hyper-V, and type 2 hypervisor. What is the examples? Oracle VirtualBox.
Rahul, so there are various type of
VMware.
hypervisor available.
Sorry. There are
various type of hypervisor
there are
available in the
various
market.
types of hypervisor. I can say just see,
Yes.
as Mayuresh said, we are having microservices. So people
Hmm.
are moving towards the microservices. That is the type 3 hypervisor. Okay, how they are just categorizing it. Okay, they are just what is happening here. If you just say the conventional way, conventional means physical servers, the life of this physical servers and the performance of physical servers is very high. But here in the type 1 hypervisor, the life of your virtual machines is low as compared to the physical server. Why? Because it's created in the clicks, it can be deleted within the clicks, and due to some reasons it can go down easily. Okay, so that's why life becomes very life of these VMs will be very less, and these are in the less size. Okay, these are not like VM will be in the size of 10 TB or so with the memory RAM. I'm talking about the RAM. Okay, space can be there. Okay, but here again type 2, here life of the virtual machines is very less. Why? Because those are dependent on your host operating system. Okay, host operating system, single operating system like Windows. If my Windows I'm shutting down, this, what do you think, this my VMs, suppose these are running, I have started it and I'm shutting down my Windows, this will also go down. Okay, that's why this is just for the practice. Type 2 is just for the practice. Now, as Mayur said, if there is any microservices, okay, I'm taking it here as a type 3. Okay, on top of this VM, I will be installing one software which is called as a Docker. So this is not our part now, just I'm answering your question. Okay, others, if you don't understand, don't worry. Okay, just a VM, on top of the VM you'll be having one containerization tool which is a Docker. So on top of that we are again installing one software, and in on that I'm installing many applications instances I can run. So again you are reducing the size, because those are the microservices, they can down very very easily, but they are providing you the high availability. Okay, but they can go down very easily. So that's why lifespan will life of this instances will decrease as you are moving from type 1 to type 2 but availability is increasing. And your maintenance related things, maintenance is very important thing here, because for the physical servers you need to data center support team has to check everything. They have to look, suppose some issue is there. But here, suppose something happens to my virtual machines, I don't need to worry about this. What I will do, I will just create one more server easily within 1 minute. But here in the conventional way you cannot create within 1 minute, because this is the single server which is using this many. So you have to fix that server. If it is operating system, if it is a hardware issue, you have to fix that hardware. But here it is not like that. If my one VM is going down, I am having 99, suppose 100 VMs are running on one my ASXi, two ASXis. Okay, 50-50 are load balancing it. Suppose something happens to my one VM, I will simply take a backup within clicks and I will restore it to the some other VM. I will create one new VM within the clicks. Okay, within 1-2 minutes. So that's why maintenance all related these activities, these are very simple now. And same here. Okay, in the type 2 which is in your control. Okay, this is my home laptop, so it is in my control, I can do anything. Okay, this is just for a practice. Again, type 3, if you go to the type 3, type 3 is not our concern now, but if you go to type 3, within clicks you can delete the application instances, within clicks you can create. So that is also giving you high availability. Okay, fine. So anybody is having any doubt
Yes.
here in the type 1 and type 2 hypervisor? So this difference is very important, and this is an interview question. Again, whenever I'm saying it's an interview question, just mark it somewhere or you can note it down somewhere. Okay, because in the most of the interviews they will ask you, can you explain the virtualization? You need to explain this type 1. If they are asking you difference between type 1 and type 2, you need to explain in this way. Host operating system dependency is not there in the type 1. Type 1 is just faster as compared to the type 2. And you just have to give the example ESXi Hyper-V, that is the example for type 1. For type 2 it is a Oracle VirtualBox VMware workstation. Now your work, this see, these are the parts, these are the layers. This why I'm see just my why I'm explaining all this to you, because you need to understand where your role is. Okay, in which layer. Suppose this is the layer of your hardware, this will be taken care by data center team. This here will be taken care by your VMware team or your cloud team. Okay, this will be taken care by your operating system team. Application will be taken care by your application team. So your work as a OS team should be here, but something happens to my operating system, then I should be aware what is residing, what is behind that, you should be aware what is happening in the background. So that's why, so that then only you can troubleshoot. Okay, so that's why most often people will ask you what is virtualization, explain the virtualization type 1 type 2, then you should be ready with this. And again you can record. I hope the recording is started, so someone has. Okay, you can again watch this video. Anyone is having any doubt here, just let me know.
On one virtual machine, how many operating system can be installed?
Only one.
Only one. Okay.
Yes, only one. That's why there is a, then this type 3 will come. Where is that? See here in this virtual machine, this is already virtual, means already it is with the less size, you can have only one operating system. But when you compare, come to the type 3 hypervisor, this suppose a virtual machine, again you are going to install one software. Again, like here you are having one hypervisor which is a software, again you are going to install one software, that is a Docker. Okay, on top of that you can have then as many as operating systems you want, that will be running in the container, but that is somewhat advanced concept. So our main focus is Linux only, not the DevOps. So yeah, on top of that, but that is feasible. Okay, yeah, but Windows operating systems cannot have on top of that, but only, yeah, we can have as many as Linux operating systems on top of that one operating system. Again here, this is the operating system, on top of that you can have one container with the Ubuntu, one container with the RHL, one container with the Debian, Fedora, whatever you want. Okay, fine. But here as of now, type 1 type 2, only VM, one operating system. Fine, Ranjit.
Virtual machine is basically work as a server.
Mhm. Yes, it's a server only. Server, virtual machine, node, all these three terms are same. Okay,
Okay.
but when you talk about the server, now as I can say, again I'm saying server will be, can be physical server or a virtual server. Okay, now if somebody is saying we are having a virtual machine, so you should understand, okay, it's like this, okay, the setup is like this. Okay, if somebody is saying okay, I'm having a physical servers, we are having, so setup is like this. Okay, and in company it can have both. Okay, it is not like you can have only VMs, and it is not, we are not having a physical servers. Physical servers are having very high performance, so that's why mostly database servers can be physical. Okay, physical servers. Okay,
Okay.
because of its high performance, because you will be having many read write operations in the database. So yeah. Okay, so as you said, VMs are nothing but the servers. Okay,
Okay.
but though everything is virtually managed, means within the clicks you can do, you are having one UI, within the clicks you are creating, you are deleting, not your VMware team. Your work is manage the operating system, means inside that black screen yesterday you have logged into the server, inside that if something is happening, that is your job. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions from anyone?
Yeah, Rahul, I have one question. Like, suppose we are working virtually, like we have client machines, right? So, what kind of service company is using there? Is it virtual or physical one? Virtual,
As
I
I
guess,
said,
right?
both can be used. Okay, both will be there. It is not like only virtual, or it's depend on the environment basically. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the companies, if you are working, as you said, you are working in a Citibank, so they will be having
Mm-hmm.
physical servers, and they can have a VMs as well. Okay, both.
Okay.
Why both? As I am
Mm-hmm.
saying, so this they will be having their database on this physical servers, because physical servers are very powerful. Okay, why? Because they are having very high RAM and high CPU resources are very huge there, and only one server is
Yeah,
using
correct.
is that resources, so it is making it powerful. So that's why.
Mm. Okay.
But
Yeah, got
VMs,
it.
people are slowly moving towards the microservices. Okay, companies are
Mm-hmm.
here now, most of the companies are here, type 1.
Okay.
Okay,
Type 1. Yeah.
This is just your home, so don't worry about this, okay? But type 1, most of the companies are here. Previously 20 years back, mostly like 90%, 95 before virtualization, only this was the option, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now people are moving towards the containerization, like Docker and all this. If you have heard about Docker, they are
Yeah.
using the microservices, and then okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions from anyone? Prathamesh, Saurabh, Ayush, Vijay, Ashish, always there. Who has joined as a guest teacher? Durlabh and Swapnil, you're having any question? Hmm, if no any, let me know.
Not now.
No? Okay. See, suppose if you are not having any questions at the end of the sessions, I will be asking you the questions. Okay. So that's why. And this is the trend we follow. So let me know still you're having a chance to ask the questions, but then again you have to answer if I'm asking you something. Okay, from the today's session only. Hmm. Okay, I will take it as a no. Okay, Vijay, can you unmute?
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, so what is the difference between type 1 and type 2 in your words?
Okay. So in type one, uh, in type two, it is based is depend on one operating system, and there you can we
Hmm?
there is a and hello.
Yeah, you are audible.
and
Yes, go on.
and on top of that operating system there is a hypervisor, so dependency on one operating system in similarly in the type 1 hypervisor, after that on top of the hardware directly the VMware machine is there, the software, and
Mhm,
on top of that the virtual machines are there. So
mhm.
as
Okay,
per the means as per the transparency and accuracy, the type 1 hypervisor is better than the type 2.
okay, yes, good. Okay, Sanjana,
Yeah.
what are the examples for type 1 and
Yeah.
what are the
Type.
examples for type 2?
Yeah. For type 1, we can use EXSI and Hyper-V. And for type 2, Oracle VirtualBox and VMware Workstation we can use.
Good, it's a ESXi, okay, and it's
Oh,
from the it's a product of
EXSI.
VMware. ESXi. Okay, who is there? Mayuresh.
Yeah, Harold.
Now, what is the difference between conventional and the type 1?
So in conventional, we have means in a conventional bottom we have a hardware, and after that
Mhm,
we mount our operating system and
mhm.
create servers. And in a first model, our first model, we have a
Yeah.
hardware. When after the hardware, we have one layer called host, and after that we have put our virtual machines, and on top of that we
Okay.
have put our operating system. So
Okay. What
basically
is
this way.
hypervisor? If somebody is asking you what is hypervisor, then
Otherwise,
hmm? Yeah, what is hypervisor? I'm opening this slide. Let me know where I have mentioned what is hypervisor.
virtualization
Anyone?
software, right?
Yes, it's a software. Okay, basically. And who will install the software then? It's a VMware team. Okay, they will be installing it. So you don't need to worry about it, but you should be aware. Okay, what is that? Fine. Okay, Mayuresh. Okay, then yes, good. Yeah, why I'm asking you, because see, I want, like, you should Be confident, because whenever you will go into the real time questions, so similarly they will be asking you in these cases, so you will be feeling very confident. Yeah, so that's it for the day. Okay, I hope no any question, then we can wind up the call.
Yeah, the recordings will be there, right? If
Yeah,
we
recording is
need
there.
to.
I think someone has started already, so it will be there. Just you can go there and you can refer it again. You can, and it will be available for 30 days. Okay,
Where we can see it.
just click on that link again.
Okay.
There you can see it. Okay, if I stop this, it will be